at the end of the day. Every matter of we're still cool again. You know, we're cool again.
So, while we're talking about court stuff, everybody was talking to Little Kim. There was reports that you were being sued by a production company in Brooklyn for not producing an album as well. Is there any?
No, well, this is who we're talking about.
Okay,
we're talking about Trackmasters, and the name of their company is called Brooklyn.
Oh, okay.
So that's probably what you've heard. That's the lawsuit that you're talking about. And this is the reason why for so long, when I was still going through this when I did Dancing with the Stars, and that's why, you know, I couldn't really move. You know, that whole thing of don't judge someone until you really know is so true, because you just don't know someone's story until you know them, until you
talk to them. Yeah.
Because people were like, where's Little Kim? Oh, she's missing, she's gone, she's this, that, and the third. Well, how about I'm going through something right now? How about that? Did you ever think about that? Did you ever think that there might be something really serious going on in my life that I can't make a move? Mm-hmm. Nobody thinks about that. They just want to put their own negative
spin to it,
in their mind, and they want to go with their own little stories because it sounds good to them. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. You know, I actually was going through a situation that I could not move.
Yeah. So, are you going to go back to television?
Of course. You know what I mean? And that was the whole thing of at the time when I wasn't able to record, I still had to keep my smile on my face. I definitely am going back to television, movies, and everything, and that's a part of the next level in my career, in my life, you know? Mm-hmm. So, I love it, too. I love it. Like, Dancing with the Stars was the best time I think I've had in my career.
Kim, that Judge Bruno, he loved you.
Bruno is my baby, though. Even though he might have a little bit one too many margaritas sometimes, Dancing with the Stars was one of the best times that I've had in my career, period. There's a lot of highlights in my career that stand out, and that is one of them. All
right, bet. So, look, we got to go into another break, but Kim, I want to address some more rumors with you when we come back, okay? So talking, it's me, Titi Torres, and we're Girl Talking with Little Kim. Let's talk about you and Scott Storch relationship. That is officially over, right?
Yeah, it's gone. It's done. What do you want to know?
I wanted to know, did you return all the gifts that he got you? Because I was reading on the internet that he bought you some really expensive gifts. One was the Bentley that he bought you. And we saw what happened with that, and I heard that he used to buy you mad jewelry and furs and all of that stuff.
Yeah, I have all of my jewelry, all of the things that he bought me. I have everything. Yeah, you know, the car, I had the car for 6 years. So, I mean, you know, the car situation was something where I could not have anything in my name at the time or put anything new in my name at the time when he bought the car for me, because I was going through my court situation. And anyone who knows, when you're going through a major court situation like what I went through before I went to jail, you're not supposed to buy anything, do anything. You can't do anything at that time. You really can't. So he had the title for a long time, and I had no idea that he wasn't paying the car notes or that he was on drugs. I had no idea. But let me just say this. Scott Storch at the time when we were together, he was extremely, extremely good to me. I appreciate everything that he's done for me and with me. Our relationship wasn't about materialistic things. Scott and I actually had fun, and he's one of the relationships that I would have probably married Scott on the strength of the fact that he treated me like a queen. You know, the only thing I didn't accept and kind of basically gave back, there was this ring. Scott really wanted me to have it. I kind of was not ready to get married, and Scott was just like, move in with me and this and the third. And that was one of the biggest arguments that him and I had, is I saw him becoming kind of like possessive a little bit. Mm-hmm. And it's like he got mad at me sometimes when I didn't do things that he wanted. And I loved Scott, and I just didn't understand why he wanted me to prove so much how much I love him. It's like one time we had the biggest argument because my seat wasn't next to his at a certain award show that we attended together. Like little stuff that was just stupid. I mean, a huge fight would break out.
Do you reach out to him now, and when he was going through all of that?
Well, I did reach out to him, but he went into a hole. He basically, like, the people who were dealing with him at the time basically couldn't keep him under control. And to this day, from the last time that I've talked to people around him, like, he still got a lot of people around him who aren't SHIT, sugar honey iced tea, if you know what I'm talking about. Like, he still has a lot of people that he needs to get rid of. Because he became under so much pressure. And I guess he just lost it, and he just resorted to drugs as a result. You know, and then he lost his mind, because I saw hearing interviews where he was saying crazy stuff in interviews that was so untrue. You know what I mean? He bought me that Bentley for my birthday. I had no idea I was going to get the car. Then he said in one of the interviews that, you know, I asked him to do me a favor to help me get the car. So I'm like, oh, why would I do that? I'm little Kim. I could have bought that car myself.
Right.
You know? Like that. But he just, I guess he felt bad because he wasn't with me anymore. Because he would always beg for me to come back and be with him and stuff like that. But it was just, I guess we needed a break. You know, I still love him, and you know, I'm not saying I wouldn't even still go out with him now. He's a good guy, you know.
It sounds like we need to do a little love connection with you and Scott Storch, for real. Everybody, if you're just tuning in, we're talking to Little Kim. Kimberly, we got to take a quick break. I feel like we're just chit-chatting two girlfriends on the come all right, so look, we'll be back, guys. It's TT Torres, it's Little Kim on Ipower 921.
Coming up next.
Going on, and me about, you know, come out with my music. You're going to see every real person that's in my corner. I mean, my family that I'm with now is my family. Like, I love the family. A lot of people who I thought would be in my corner wasn't in my corner. And
is Ray J one of them?
I'm not gonna say at that time that he wasn't in my corner. I wasn't speaking to Ray J as much, you know, at that time.
And the time that she's talking about, for those of you who don't know, is at the very beginning when this Nicki Minaj and Little Kim beef first started. Ray J was the one who went on stage and popped everything off.
I will say that, you know, this industry just makes people so, you know, disloyal. They're so for themselves. But
especially when the heat starts coming. And no disrespect to Ray J, because he is a friend to the show. But I can recall Ray J setting off this Nicki Minaj and Little Kim war. And now you're forced to put out the fire he started.
Yeah, and, you know, that's just what I do, though. But, I mean, like I said, you know, they'll do. Sometimes people in the industry, they'll say something that will, oh, shoot, they're being loyal. You'll think they're being loyal. Then in the next breath, they'll say something very disloyal. And to me, that's just not a loyal person. But, you know, it's all good. You know what I mean? It's like I said, you're going to see, you know, who I rock with and who I don't rock with.
Okay.
And, you know.
All right. Is Jay-Z one of them? Because there was a rumor on the internet that you signed to Rock Nation.
Well, I know that there were a lot of representatives from Rock Nation that were trying to get me to come over there. Yes, that is correct. I didn't sign. That's incorrect. But a lot of record companies get nervous when it comes to Little Kim because they feel like they have to spend a lot of money in order to make me work. But they don't understand that I've been studying and mastering the art of who Little Kim is and how to make Little Kim work without major theatrics that I used to have. You know what I mean? That's a major concern with a lot of record companies when it comes to females, period, is, you know, the cost of rolling females out or whatever. But, you know, no, I'm not gonna sit and say that Jay-Z is one of them, but Jay-Z, he lives in his own world. He always has. He always has lived in his own world. I mean, Puff, Jay-Z, none of them have come to see me when I was locked up. I didn't get a letter or anything. So, I mean, I'm not bitter about it or sad about it, and I never was. You know what I mean? But I just know that if it was them, and I know one of them was in that situation, I would be there, you know?
But it is disheartening, Kim.
Yeah, it's very disheartening, but I've never held it, like, against them business-wise, because I'm a businesswoman, so.
I used to get all types of jail mail about you and
There's a girl named Sabrina. She's from VA. I had a lot of girlfriends inside that were from VA, and I just shout out to all my girls from FBC in Philly that are from VA that was holding it down in Philly. So Titi Sabrina, if you're listening, and Young DZ, we call her son Young DZ. He, you know, like, I had a lot of girls that was in there that I just got so much love for to this day. And beautiful, beautiful girls in prison. I'm sorry, I met a lot of girlfriends in prison that I could say are more friends to me than a lot of girls I've known for years out here on the street.
Wow.
I mean, you go through something in prison that if you don't bond with somebody, you'll never bond with them. And if you bond with somebody, you have that bond for life because you go through some crazy stuff in prison.
And we're not talking about no lesbian stuff, right?
No, no. honey. I wouldn't wait to go to jail to be a lesbian, honey.
Ew!
If I was gonna be a lesbian, honey, I would have done that before I went in, honey.
2 snaps in a shake.
All kinds of women.
Yes.
I would never wait for that, honey. You know, at the end of the day, I love women, and you know, I don't have a problem with lesbians around me or anything like that at all.
Yeah.
And I think the fact that I am so pro-gay, I'm for it. I'm so for it, and I love to be around them. They're so much fun, and you know, like, and even in jail, like a lot of the girls would try to come on to me. I thought it was so cute and so funny. I would just laugh and laugh and laugh, and a lot of them were actually really, really, really good friends of mine. A lot, you know.
Ow! Hit my music. 2 snaps in a shake, Kimberly. Look, we gotta take a break. Everybody, if you're just tuning in, I am TT Torres, and we're going to talk with Little Kim on Ipower 921. Interactive Hip Hop and R&B, it's TT Torres. And shout outs to everybody who was listening to my Little Kim interview. Part 2 will air tomorrow at 1 p.m. Bye-bye.